The carol that really speaks to me about the meaning and hope of Christmas, or some of the meaning and hope of Christmas, is a carol called Of the Father's Love Begotten. You've probably never heard of it. I hadn't heard of it either. It was actually written in the 3rd century as a poem, and then translated into kind of a Latin chant in the medieval period, and then into a hymn in the 18th century. And just in case you think I'm really cultured, I only know that because of Wikipedia. But we first heard this carol at our old church in downtown Philadelphia, and they would traditionally sing it kind of to mark the beginning of the Christmas season. And the first thing that the carol does is it calls to mind how God is eternal, that he is the one who is and was and will be forevermore. And it opens up like this. It says, "Of the Father's love begotten, ere the worlds began to be, he is Alpha and Omega, he the source, the ending he, of the things that are, that have been, and that future years shall see, evermore and evermore." And I find that helpful because it's reminding me, as I look at the babe in the manger, not to miss the miracle, that Jesus really was and is God in the flesh, that all the fullness of God dwelt in him. Talk about giving you perspective. But my actual favourite verse comes later on, where after talking about the eternal God, it talks about the Saviour that everybody was expecting. In fact, Jesus' coming was anticipated for a really long time. Through the centuries, various prophets and priests and kings had all pointed or given promises or prophecies that spoke about his arrival. And this is how the verse comes. It says, "This is he whom seers in old time chanted of with one accord, whom the voices of the prophets promised in their faithful word. Now he shines, the long expected. Let creation praise its Lord evermore and evermore." I just love that line. Now he shines. In other words, in the midst of the darkness and the doubt and the despair that really envelops the world, envelops all of our lives, Jesus shines, which means we're not forsaken, we're not abandoned, we're not forgotten. We have reason for hope and confidence because we trust a God who follows through, who does everything that he said he'll do, who is everything he said he will be. He's faithful and he's loving and he's true. So that's my Christmas carol, that yes, Jesus is the eternal one, but he's also the long expected one. And because he's these things and so much more, I can rest in him as my Emmanuel.